The Lushan Conference was a meeting of top leaders of the Chinese Communist Party held between July 2 and August 16, 1959 on Mount Lu, in southeastern China. The CCP Politburo also met in an expanded session between July 2 and August 1, 1959. One of the key events in the Lushan Conference was the political purge of the defense minister, Marshal Peng Dehuai, whose criticism of certain aspects of the Great Leap Forward was seen as an attack on the political line of party chairman Mao Zedong. The original goal of the conference was to review the events of the Great Leap Forward and solve any practical issues brought about by those events. Mao was critical of his own role in the failures during the Great Leap Forward. He described the backyard steel campaign he had promoted as a great catastrophe, and criticized himself for pushing communization so fast. In a speech before the Lushan Conference was held, Mao stated, "The chaos caused was on a grand level and I take responsibility for it." But he did defend the policies of the Great Leap Forward in general, and the idea of communes. A major focus of the conference was the misunderstandings and miscommunications created by false production reports. During the Great Leap, lower bureaucratic levels were asked to fulfill unreasonable and unrealistic production quotas. Ignoring the actual conditions at lower levels, officials frequently claimed that the production goals had been achieved, and in some cases, exceeded. This deception was brought on by high-level officials who overly emphasized production. The ensuing false statistics severely messed with the central coordination of the economy. At the conference, addressing these issues implicated a broader political tension over the issues of centralization and decentralization. Mao also intended to use the conference to contain what he called their leftist tendency elements in the Great Leap Forward. On July 14, 1959, Marshal Peng Dehuai wrote a private letter to Mao criticizing elements of the Great Leap Forward. In the letter, he didn't deny what he called Mao's great achievement, but he showed his disapproval for elements like the over-reporting of grain production, the communal dining, and also the establishment of a communal militia, which he felt would undermine the strength of the People's Liberation Army, China's main army. On July 23, 1959, Mao showed Peng's letter to his comrades and asked them to express their views on the issue. Peng made no further major argument other than for the party to immediately withdraw from political initiatives in the rural areas, but this position had no support among other conference attendees. By the time of the Lushan plenum that immediately followed the Lushan Conference, Marshal Peng had become politically isolated, and was stripped of his position of defense minister, replaced by Marshal Lin Biao. Mao's position was that peasant enthusiasm was positive because political development required mass momentum. He continued to believe that the experiment of giving the peasantry a political role should be continued. His view was that initiatives like self-organizing agricultural tasks, self-managed schools and cooperative medical services should continue wherever possible. But he did agree that specific objectives had to be made more realistic and that the absurd bureaucratic boasting about production quotas had to be stopped. Mao then criticized Peng for being part of a group that wavered in the face of difficulties, and Peng was later dismissed and arrested. In September 1959, he was replaced by Lin Biao. Although the criticism of Peng Dehuai was a victory for Mao Zedong, it also led the leadership to conclude that he had been treated unfairly. Zhou Xiaozhou, along with Huang Keqing and Zhang Wentian, who lent their support to Peng Dehuai in questioning the wisdom of their Great Leap Forward, were also branded as traitors, stripped of their positions, and sent to re-education through labor. Li Rui, one of Mao's private secretaries, was also stripped of party membership and sent to a labor camp for refusing to denounce Peng. Not long after the Lushan Conference, Mao removed himself from the day-to-day workings of the party. The